The Gel Nimbus 24 and the Saucony Ride 15 are two of my favorite daily trainers that I've tried in a long time. But is the Gel Nimbus 24 worth $40 more than this beautiful looking shoe right here? I don't know, let's talk about that. So starting off with the stats comparison of these two beautiful shoes, both these stack heights are pretty much the same. You're getting 36 millimeters in the heel with the Gel Nimbus and 26 in the forefoot, 10 millimeter drop. With the Ride 15, you're getting 35 in the heel and 27 in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter drop. So they're pretty much identical in that regard, but the feeling underfoot is quite different, as we will talk about here in a little bit. The biggest difference for me, and honestly, probably the biggest difference for a lot of people, is the weight difference between these two shoes. The Ride 15 comes in quite a bit lighter, as you can see from the weights on your screen right now, and that is very apparent once you have the shoes on foot. Like, just putting them on side by side, a couple of grams doesn't seem like a whole lot, but honestly, when you have them on at the same time, you can really notice that difference. So which one of these shoes has the better upper, you ask? Well, I will tell you. So in terms of comfort, the Gel Nimbus 24 has a good amount of comfort. There's a good amount of padding around that ankle collar, but I have found that the material in the toe box kind of lays on top of me, and it's kind of really form-fitting, which is kind of nice because it feels like you're really one with the shoe, but it's not the most comfortable. The Ride 15, however, man, this is such a comfortable upper. Now, there isn't as much padding on the Ride 15, and the materials feel a little bit less durable in my opinion. It just feels like a more stripped down upper, but for me, that has been absolutely fantastic. I have enough room in the toe box. The lockdown in this shoe is so darn good. The tongue has the perfect amount of padding. The ankle collar and heel cup are so dang comfortable. So if that's anything to go off, I'm really looking forward to Saucony uppers in 2022. And for lockdown, we're going again with the Ride 15. The Gel Nimbus 24 has a pretty good lockdown with that beautiful stretchy knit tongue, but guys, the Ride 15 lockdown is so darn good. They have a little bit of a different lacing system in the Ride 15 this year, and that does wonders along with that fully gusseted tongue. The lockdown in this upper is just so darn good. And I didn't even mention the pull tab. Perfect pull tab implementation. If you have anything to say about that, meet me in the comments and we'll chuck some knuckles around, but I'm not a very good fighter, so I will just let you punch me. And breathability, we're going with the Ride 15 again. The Ride 15 breathability is honestly off the charts. The Nimbus 24, the materials that they use are extremely premium and there's a lot of them. But honestly, it's not the hottest upper that I've ever tried, so that's something. So clearly the Ride 15 upper is vastly superior for me personally. The Nimbus 24 upper is still fantastic, but the Ride 15 just kind of does it a bit more for me. And I know what you've all been waiting for. I've been waiting for it too. It's time for the midsole battle. So obviously the FFBLAST Plus in the Nimbus 24 is so darn special. The PWRRUN midsole here is a little bit firm and a little bit uninspiring, if I'm being completely honest. Saucony said that they changed up the durometer and they made it a bit softer, but I'm calling them a liar. I don't think that it's changed all that much. Now I'm not actually gonna call them a liar because I'm sure that they did change stuff, but honestly in my testing, and I've tried the Ride 13 and different Ride shoes, this doesn't feel all that softer compared to those. However, the FFBLAST Plus in the Nimbus 24, that's a soft foam and it's super fun to run in, and I can't wait for them to release a shoe with just full-length FFBLAST Plus. That is gonna be a fun day. But this is the Gel Nimbus. So there is that gel in the midsole, and that really does dampen down the magic of that FFBLAST Plus. And that gel makes the Nimbus 24 feel like a more traditional shoe rather than the magical shoe it could feel like if it was just pure FFBLAST Plus. And I'm gonna say that for both of these shoes. Both of these shoes feel very traditional in the midsole, but that doesn't mean that they're not good daily training shoes. And although they both feel like standard running shoes, they do feel quite different compared to each other. So in the Nimbus 24, my gait cycle doesn't feel all that smooth. It kind of feels like I'm landing, getting all that gel and kind of making it feel not fun. But then when I roll through and get that toe off, I'm getting that spring from the FFBLAST Plus, and it's just feeling so darn magical, but it doesn't feel very smooth. The Ride 15, on the other hand, has some sculpting in the midsole, and that really does make the shoe feel exceptionally smooth. You get a little bit of a curve in the heel and a little bit of curve in the forefoot for a nice roll through, and mixed with that firmer PWRRRUN foam, it really does feel smooth, and I'm able to really just get into my zone. But again, this is a bit more of a firm shoe, so keep that in mind. but they do have a PWRRUN Plus insole, which does make it feel a little bit softer on first stepping. But for me personally, that softness goes away after the first couple of miles. But in terms of picking a midsole winner between these two, it's kind of really difficult to do because they do feel so unique. If my legs are feeling a bit more tired and I want them to be babied a bit more, I'm gonna pick up the Nimbus 24. If I want to go and have my run feel very smooth, I'm gonna go with the Ride 15. In terms of midsole, I'm gonna give them a draw. If you're someone that likes a bit more of a softer midsole, go for the Nimbus 24. If you like a bit more firm with a roll through, get the Ride 15. So in terms of the outsoles, the Nimbus 24 has the A-Hard Plus, and Saucony has just, I don't even know the name of the rubber. But the outsole winner is gonna go to the Nimbus 24 for that A-Hard Plus, and these are daily trainers, and I want my daily trainers to last quite a while, and the A-Hard Plus has always been a winner for me, and it has a good amount of coverage, and it has these flex grooves as well, which is meant to make it feel a bit more smooth, but like I just said, it doesn't feel that smooth of a shoe in my opinion. So that brings us to our final question. Is the Nimbus 24 worth $40 more than the Ride 15? I don't think so. The only reason I would buy the Nimbus 24 over the Ride 15 is if I was someone that really wanted a bit more of a softer midsole. That is really the only benefit that I can see right now for the Nimbus 24. The Ride 15 is lighter weight. It has a better fitting and better lockdown in the upper for me personally. And the outsole, I think it's gonna last, and the PWRRRUN foam seems to have lasted in my previous iterations of the Ride line. So I don't think the durability is going to be that big of a concern on this one. But the only downside to the Ride 15 personally is that it's not as exciting as a shoe as the Nimbus 24. That FFBLAST Plus really is magical. The PWRRRUN midsole foam here, not the most magical thing, but it does the job. And if you're going to save yourself $40, maybe even $45 in some cases, I've seen it for 165 Canadian dollars. So there is a chance that you can get it $45 cheaper than the Nimbus 24. The Nimbus 24 is built like a tank. It's gonna last you a lot of miles, but I don't think this is gonna wear out very soon either, so if you like a shoe with a bit more of a soft sensation, Nimbus 24. If you like a shoe that feels lightweight, has a good smooth roll through, but a bit of a firmer midsole, the Ride 15, you can't go wrong with it. Me personally, I would go buy the Ride 15 again and again over the Nimbus 24, but I have it in my hand now, so I'm not gonna go return it because, well, I have like 40 or 50 kilometers in it, so I can't do that anyway. If you wanna hear more about the Nimbus 24, I'll leave a video right up here. If you wanna hear more about the Ride 15, I'll put a video right up here. And with that said, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it if you did enjoy it. If you wanna see more running related content, hit that subscribe button right down below, and we're done.